Hello everyone, in this video we'll be solving problem 165, compare version numbers. The problem statement is, we are given two version strings, version 1 and version 2. We need to compare and return appropriate output. If version 1 is less than version 2, return -1, else return 1, and if both of them are equal, then return 0. If there are multiple revisions in a given version number, we need to compare their value from left to right order. If one of the version string has fewer revisions, treat the missing revisions as 0. In example number 1, version 1 is 1.2 while version 2 is 1.10. If we split the entire string using period as a separator, we'll have 1 and 10 on the right hand side and 1, 2 on the left hand side. On the left hand side, 1 and 1 are equal, but between 2 and 10, 10 is greater, hence the output is -1. Let's switch to whiteboard and discuss how we can solve it. Let's use this as our example. Because we are comparing two strings, the ideal way to go about is to use a two pointers approach, where the first pointer will be pointing at string 1 while the other pointer will be pointing at string 2. We'll try to extract all of the values using period as the separator and then compare with each other. If the leftmost revision is equal between the two versions, only then we'll move towards the right hand side and compare its corresponding values. But if one of the value is greater than the other one, then we do not need to move towards the right and we can immediately return an output. Let's do a quick try run by splitting the entire string using period as the separator. On the left hand side, the first value will be 1 on both of the strings v1 and v2. As the two values are equal, we need to increment our pointers and look at the next character in the string. The next comparison is between the number 2 on the left hand side and number 02 on the right hand side. Ignoring the leading 0 on the right hand side, the two values are still equal. So we need to increment our pointers and compare the next characters. The next segment is the last segment where we have 3 on the left hand side and 41 on the right hand side. As 41 is greater than 3, which means version 2 is greater than version 1, which implies that our output should be -1. This is one simplest and efficient solution to solve this problem. The time complexity of this solution is O of max m, n, where m and n are the number of characters in string s1 and s2. The reason it is max is because we are using two pointers and the maximum number of iterations we will have to do will depend on the maximum characters between the two strings. While the space complexity is going to be O of 1 as we are not using any additional memory to store the values. We are simply collecting the value in each of these segments for comparison and then replacing it with the next segment. I hope you are able to understand this explanation. Let me show you how we can implement this using Java. In this Java implementation, I start by initializing the two pointers I and j which will be used in the while loops. After that, I am starting a while loop to iterate through all of the characters in the corresponding strings s1 and s2. Inside this while loop, I have nested while loops to build number 1 and number 2, which is the number of characters between two periods. I'm multiplying the number 1 which was calculated in the previous run by 10 and then adding the current character that I is pointing to it. So after every cycle or turn, all of the characters in num1 will be shifted towards the left as we are multiplying the total by 10. After I've collected the value from num1, that is version 1 string, I'm repeating the same cycle for version 2 to get num2. Once we have both of the numbers num1 and num2, I'm comparing them, and if one is greater than the other, I'm returning appropriate output, that is 1 or -1. If both are equal, it means we need to continue with the loop, so I'm incrementing both of the numbers so that we can skip the dot and repeat the same cycle. If the condition for the outer while loop is no longer suffice, we'll jump out of the loop and return 0 as the output. This code when submitted on LeetCode beats 100% of the submissions in terms of runtime and 93% in terms of memory. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you are able to understand the explanation. The details to access the source code is available in the description below. Feel free to check that out and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.